You've probably seen hundreds of Get Ready With Me videos on social media. They tend to appeal to young teenage girls who want skincare tips and makeup hacks. But some of these videos are not being created by your average influencers. Your children could actually be watching porn stars. Meet, for example, the Bop House Girls. A group of young women living together in a luxury Florida mansion. They're creating explicit content on OnlyFans while also posting Get Ready With Me clips and dance trends across all social platforms. While their Get Ready With Me videos may look innocent, they're reaching the algorithms of young girls. And in a few simple clicks, these children can then stumble across other kinds of content. Content that shows influencers revealing their lifestyles are actually funded by OnlyFans. Elsewhere on their pages, they use code words like bop, meaning baddie on point, spicy content, and mattress actress, all of which bypass social media's rules around explicit language and so appear on mainstream feeds. In these other videos, they create an impression that sex work is empowering, lucrative, and entrepreneurial. But now teachers of young students are saying they've noticed the influence seeping into the classroom. So can you tell me a little bit about the moment you were introduced to the Bop House Girls?
It was one girl in that class. It took them a couple of minutes of kind of thinking about it. And then one girl said, "Do you mean like the Bop House Girls?" And I just said, "I don't know. Who are the Bop House Girls?" And then I suppose that student found herself in the difficult position of not wanting to tell me about the Bop House Girls. But there was this wave of recognition that rolled through the classroom.
Eoghan's concerns became even more pressing when he realized OnlyFans creators could earn commission from referrals. The website states that when a new user signs up through your referral link, they receive 5% of their earnings. He fears young women could be signing up via these links once they turn 18. And he worries that big brands partnering with OnlyFans creators could inadvertently be glamorizing the lifestyle further.
Wasn't makeup made to perform on stage, on camera, and yes, on mattresses?
I heard comments from students, when they're coming up to their final exams in school, like they're saying, "Oh, I'm just going to become an influencer. It'll be fine." And then, jokes about, "Oh, I'll just go on OnlyFans." It is normalizing it in a way, and mainstreaming it, I suppose, in a way that it has never been mainstreamed before.
And Eoghan's concerns are echoed by Charlotte Devine, who joined OnlyFans at 18 years old.
With the Bop House specifically, it's just ridiculous, because if you actually look at the videos they're producing, the content they're producing just on the marketing side for TikTok, Instagram, it's not aimed at adults, but they really seem to be tailoring to a very young crowd. It is completely fabricated. The average OnlyFans creator makes $100 to $150 a month. And that's a true statistic. For me to even get to making 10 to 15 grand a month regularly was 13, 14, 15-hour work days.
Looking back, Charlotte says there are things she wishes she had known before joining.
There's nothing empowering about messaging hundreds of 40 to 50-year-old men who are old enough to be your father.
Charlotte says she's now grappling with the long-term consequences of explicit content creating and worries how it has shaped her future.
I know I can't really get a job. I've got 3.5 years of my job history that's clear. What am I supposed to say to an employer? I'll have a husband someday, hopefully, and I'll have to have that chat with his family. I want to have kids. I want to adopt kids. I don't know whether adoption is an option.
Now out of the industry, Charlotte wants other young women to understand the reality behind the glamorous lifestyle shown online.
I had the life you wanted. I lived in multi-million-dollar houses. I travelled the world. I didn't think about money. And I was so depressed and so broken. And I just sat by the pool and cried. And just cried and thought, I've got all of this, I'm not happy.
OnlyFans says it allows creators to monetize content on their own terms with total freedom, and this financial incentive is clearly appealing to many young women. In fact, a recent survey found that 2/3 of female students would consider sex work if they were short on cash. OnlyFans states it warns prospective creators that high earnings may not be easily achieved on the platform. It also claims it rejects 50 to 60% of monthly applications and doesn't directly promote creators' earnings. But this doesn't stop users from advertising how much money they're making through their own social media channels, sometimes in the millions.
Aisha, how much have you made since joining the Bop House on you know what?
I've made like 8 million.
Now, critics like Eoghan say there needs to be stricter rules around who can create content that ends up in children's social media feeds.
It is absolutely ridiculous that there is no regulation of the online world in this regard, no classification of who's allowed to interact with young people, what kind of content is allowed to be promoted to young people.
For Eoghan, the biggest concern is what this exposure could mean for childhood itself.